6 o'clock. Thank you so much for staying with us. Now we bring, of course, a very important focus that affects everyone in South Africa. It has to do with cars and it has to do with the rise and increase in fuel prices. Now, the steep rise in fuel prices has pushed up transport, vehicle and food costs. Today, we're looking at how South Africans are currently coping with these increases. Are they selling their luxury vehicles for cheaper options? Are they carpooling or even using public transport just to save on fuel? My partner in news, Gareth Edwards, is at the We Buy Cars at the Dome in Johannesburg this morning. Morning, partner. Looking very cozy, I have to say. I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous at all that I can't afford what you're currently sitting inside. But I just wonder, how important is this focus this morning when we talk about all the increase we're seeing around petrol?
Yeah, morning, Tums. Welcome everyone to We Buy Cars at the Dome. And you're quite right. The biggest issue that a lot of us are dealing with now, you touched on it, is what do we do with the vehicles that we own? If we're lucky enough, it's paid off at the bank, and therefore the options to you are either to keep it because it's not costing you as much to pay that monthly installment. And then the second problem where a lot of people are facing is what happens if they've got a car that still has about 3 or 4 years left on the loan terms. It's almost too soon to get rid of it, which you're going to owe the bank too much money. So what do? Here's the scenarios we've got. You need to either keep the car you've got, which is probably going to cost you too much. We know interest rates have gone up. And if you're one of those unlucky sods that is driving a very big engine vehicle, we know how much it hurts. Whether it's petrol or whether it's diesel, it hurts an awful amount to start filling up that car every single time you go. I'm hearing people or rather spending about 2,500 rand to fill up their cars. On average, people are spending between 1,400 and 1,900 for a tank of fuel. The problem with that is you're not getting any more mileage, of course. So the whole focus for today is to try and find out if you're in that position. Perhaps you're watching at home and you're umming and ahhing about selling one of the family cars or downgrading the car that you've got. What are your options? Actually, how do you go about that? And if it's actually a very good idea, but you've got to weigh up what you owe the bank versus what you can finance to try and get a smaller vehicle. And then on the vehicles, what do you actually get? What is really considered a fuel economical car? Yes, you can get a small car, but if you're used to something big and you've got a family, can you really get a small little 4-door runaround? Is that going to fit your needs? So where is the balance? So that's what we're going to be unpacking for you a little bit later. Now, obviously, the We Buy Cars Dome is the biggest showroom under roof in the world, by the way. Over 1,000 cars here behind us. I couldn't find a car that I like. So what I did this morning, Tims, I thought, well, let me not bring my weekday car to work. I thought, let me bring my weekend car to work. And clearly, this is the kind of car that I thought would be a great idea for us to look at as a cost-effective way of getting to work. Because my thinking is, as I start up a 2019 Scuderia Ferrari California T, this car, I thought, you're going to save fuel, but you're going to get there quicker. So this is what I'm going to spend my day in as well. Obviously, I'm joking. This is not the car I'm going to take to work. It's far too expensive as well. This is not. But what I like about this, by the way, because we're having a bit of fun today, Teddy, come take a look here. Tell me this is not how you want to start your car in the morning. Listen to this. Are you ready? Here we go. Okay. Now, Teddy's going to go around the front. This is not the economical car that you want. But I couldn't help myself. I don't know if they parked it here for me, Chumza, but just listen to this. Okay. I don't want to keep that on the whole time, of course, because the fuel's expensive, but we're going to have a little bit of fun. But there are still people buying cars like this, Chumza, but we're going to be talking about how do you get rid of the car that you have now that you can't actually afford. Don't get me wrong. I wish we didn't have to. I wish we didn't have to. We'll come back to you a little bit later. I'll take you around and speak to experts about some advice on what you can do to get a more fuel-efficient car if you're thinking about trading yours in. Back to you a little bit later.
You know what? I thought I had my partner in news who's out, educating us, informing us more about the petrol price and how it affects all of us. I have a feeling that you had a personal agenda to test drive the Ferrari. That's why you left me in studio this morning, Gareth Edwards. But you know what? I'm looking forward, of course, to crossing back to you and finding out more about what exactly motorists are going through at this point in time. The fuel price skyrocketing. Most of us can't afford it, and considering other alternatives, of course, to get into our destinations so that we can tighten up our pockets. And Gareth Edwards out for us at the We Buy Cars showroom. All right.